Well, where do we even begin after that match against Club Brugge at Ibrox, a 12 draw? That, yes, might not seem like much at first glance, but for those who watch closely, it told a much deeper story, and right at the heart of that story, a lad by the name of Finlay Curtis. Let me tell you something, that boy absolutely lit it up on the pitch. You could see it in his body language, his hunger, the sharpness in his movement. When that ball dropped to him and he stuck it away, it was a finish of pure class. But let's not forget the delicious ball from Nadim Barami that set it all up. That pass split the defense like a hot knife through butter. It was the kind of vision and execution we haven't seen from Barami in a while. And maybe, just maybe, we're witnessing a rebirth of his form under a coach who actually knows how to use him. Now Curtis, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want to see this lad getting more chances this season. He's got that raw spark, that confidence you just can't teach. And let's face it, if we're being honest, we're looking a bit thin on the wings at the moment. Ever since Václav Černý moved on, we've been lacking real depth out wide. And when you start going through the list of wingers still at the club, it paints a pretty grim picture. Rabbi Matondo is still hanging around, but I think most fans would agree that his time at Rangers is done. Ross McCausland is another name, but again, he's not exactly winning people over. Kieran Dawell can do a shift out wide, sure, but again, there's not much enthusiasm there. It's clear as day. We're crying out for proper natural wide players. Oscar Cortez, though, now there's one with potential. If he can stay fit, I honestly believe he could be a game changer. We've all seen what he can do when he's on it. That 5-0 win over Hearts, he was unplayable. Coming in off the left, testing the keeper, creating chances, beating his man, everything you want from a winger. But again, staying fit is the key. Because if he's not available, we're right back to square one, and we absolutely cannot afford to go back to the madness we saw under Clement and Barry Ferguson, playing central midfielders out wide and forcing square pegs into round holes. That just doesn't work. We need specialists. Wingers who know the position, know how to attack the fullback, how to stretch the play, how to put fear into defenders. This isn't the time to get cute with tactics. Let players play in their natural positions and you'll see the difference on the pitch. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The media. Every single transfer window they come out with their headlines. Rangers set to sign this player, Rangers in for that player. They know exactly what they're doing. They know Rangers fans are passionate. We click, we read, we engage, and that drives traffic. It fills their pockets. But amid all the noise, there are some things we do know. Russell Martin has confirmed more signings are on the way. He's made it clear the squad we saw against Panathinaikos won't be the same one going forward. That means changes, and that means new faces. Center backs are a priority, no doubt about that. The defense against Brugge was shaky, to put it mildly. We're still crying out for someone like Connor Cody or Nasa Dijiga to come in and bring stability. And yes, the striker situation still needs sorting too. Even with Hamza and Dessers reportedly returning, there's a real argument that we need a proper number 9 to lead the line. I mean, no offense, but hearing that Dessers is coming back, that didn't exactly fill me with joy. But let's not forget, wingers, that's an area that desperately needs attention. There was a depth chart floating around recently. I won't say who made it, but it listed our right-wing options as Ross McCausland and Kieran Dawell. I mean, come on, that's just depressing. You can't go into a season with that as your width. And according to some reports, Rangers are eyeing up to 3 new wingers this window. Personally, I find that hard to believe. 3 feels like a stretch. Especially now that Finlay Curtis is putting his hand up and demanding to be counted. If he keeps this up, I can't see the club bringing in 3 others on top of him. Now, speaking of transfer rumors, let's talk about some of the names being floated. First up, Yisrael Rexaki, or Yezraki depending on how you pronounce it. He's been on screen a lot lately and there's definitely a buzz around him. A Crystal Palace player who spent last season on loan at Sheffield United. He's a young talent with a lot of upside. Palace are apparently open to selling him, which is interesting. Born in October 2002, he's 22 years old, from London, and has both English and Ghanaian citizenship. The comparisons to Wilfried Zaha are already being made, and you can see why. He's a left-footed right winger. The classic inverted winger. The idea of him on the right cutting in on his stronger foot, while Cortez does the same from the left. That's a nightmare for defenses. He's under contract with Palace until 2027, but they're said to be open to selling as they look to raise funds after their recent successes. They're playing in Europe next season, won the FA Cup. They need to strengthen, and that means letting some players go. Stat-wise, Rexaki's got a decent record. He's played all over the front line. right wing, left wing, attacking midfield, even up front. But right wing is where he's most effective. He came through the Chelsea youth system before moving to Palace, and has had loan spells at Charlton and Sheffield United. At Charlton he was on fire, 49 appearances, 15 goals, 9 assists, that's 24 goal contributions in 49 matches. At Sheffield it was a bit quieter, 36 games, 7 goals to assists, but still respectable. And when you look at his numbers from the left wing, they're even better, 38 appearances, 26 goals, 12 assists, that's 38 goal contributions in 38 games. Talk about efficiency. The versatility is a big plus. He can switch sides, play across the front, and keep defenders guessing. And that's the kind of flexibility Rangers could really use. The only real question is whether the club can afford him. Palace are said to want up to £10 million. And that's a big chunk of change, especially for a club that doesn't usually splash that kind of cash. But then again, if he keeps developing the way he is, there's every chance that in a year or two, he could be worth double that. It's a gamble, but it might just pay off. That's the thing with English players, there's always a premium. It's like there's an extra tax just because of the league they're coming from. Look at Alex Scott, for example. Transferred from Bristol City to Bournemouth for £23 million. Jack Clark from Sunderland to Ipswich for £19 million. It's madness. So when Palace slap a £10 million price tag on Rexaki, it's not out of the ordinary. Now, if you're asking me would I rather spend that on Rexaki or go back in for Zirny, it's a fair question. Zirny has proven, he's delivered, there's less of a risk there. But Rexaki has youth potential and resale value on his side. It's a tough call. And he's not the only name on the list. Another winger who's come up recently is Samuel Boite. What a name, by the way, Samuel Leon Boite. 24 years old, primarily a right winger, but can also play on the left or through the middle. That kind of versatility is gold in today's game. He spent last season on loan at FC Zurich, and while his stats weren't earth-shattering, 28 appearances, 3 goals to assists, he's someone the club is seriously looking at. And crucially, he wouldn't cost anywhere near as much as Rexaki. We're talking maybe £2.5–3 million, much more in Rangers' usual price range. He's got experience in Switzerland, Italy, played for teams like Young Boys, Winterthur, Como. He's seen a bit of everything. And again, under contract until 2027 seems to be a pattern, doesn't it? Clubs looking to cash in before players get into the final year of their deals. Now I know there's been talk about a third winger, Wesley Pitati, the Brazilian magician from Maccabi Tel Aviv. But I'll be honest, that one feels a bit far-fetched. Sounds like one of those classic transfer sagas that never really materializes. If we end up signing Dortmund, I doubt we go after Pitati as well. There's interest from English and Dutch clubs, and I think they're probably ahead of us in the queue. So realistically, we're looking at 2 new wingers, not 3. Especially with Finlay Curtis stepping up and with Cortez hopefully staying fit. If we add Rexaki and Boite to that mix, you've got a solid group to work with. And that would allow the club to finally move on from the likes of Matondo and McCausland. Get them out, whether on loan or permanently, and bring in real quality. Russell Martin's already said there will be exits this week along with arrivals, so don't be surprised if we see a bit of a shake-up in the coming days. It's a crucial time for the club, and the decisions made now will shape how competitive we are this season. So let's say just for a moment that Rangers do go ahead and sign someone like Rexaki. Imagine him lining up on the right wing, Cortez cutting in from the left, and Finlay Curtis waiting in the wings, no pun intended, ready to rotate it and keep everyone on their toes. That's suddenly looking like a dynamic, dangerous front line. You've got pace, trickery, the ability to beat a man, and crucially you've got players who can score goals and create chances. We've not had that proper balance out wide in a while. Not really since the best days of Ryan Kent, and even then it was more about flashes than consistent production. And what does it mean for the overall team shape? It means we can start playing proper attacking football again. No more awkward formations with central midfielders shoved out on the flanks. No more trying to force guys like Dujon Sterling into wide attacking roles when that's clearly not their game. If Martin gets the wingers in that he wants, then you can start seeing a more fluid front-footed Rangers, the kind of team that actually strikes fear into opposition defenses, not just in Europe but here in the Scottish Premiership week in, week out. There's another element here too, competition. One of the things we've lacked in recent seasons is genuine competition for places. Players have gotten comfortable knowing that no matter how poorly they perform, they'll still be starting the next game because there's no one better waiting to take their place. That's a recipe for stagnation. But you bring in Rexaki, you bring in Boite, and suddenly Curtis has to keep pushing Cortez. Can't afford to slack, and whoever's starting up top knows they've got to deliver service or finish chances, or they'll be the next one under pressure. It breeds accountability. It raises standards. And that's exactly what we need if we're serious about challenging for silverware this season. We can't afford another campaign of almost and maybes. The fans have been patient long enough. We want results, and we want them now. The board have backed Martin so far in the market, and now it's on him to deliver a squad that doesn't just look good on paper but actually performs on the park. And speaking of Martin, let's give him a bit of credit where it's due. He's coming with a clear idea of what he wants. No more aimless punts in the transfer market. No more taking chances on players just because they're available. He's targeting young, hungry talent with resale value. Players like Rexaki and Boite fit that profile perfectly. They've still got room to grow. They're not at their ceiling yet, and if they do well here, we can sell them on for a profit. That's how smart clubs operate. That's how you stay competitive in the modern game. But there's always the balancing act. You can't go too far down the development route and forget the here and now. Yes, potential is great, but we also need players who can come in and make an impact straight away, and that's where someone like Boite becomes interesting. He's 24, not a kid anymore, has experience in multiple leagues, knows what it means to battle for points week in, week out. He might not have the same ceiling as Rexaki, but he could be more ready to hit the ground running. That's the kind of mix we should be aiming for. A couple of high-ceiling youngsters balanced out by more seasoned pros who can guide them along. And that brings us back to Curtis. The emergence of Finlay Curtis couldn't have come at a better time, because not only is he offering a genuine internal solution to the winger problem, but he's also proving that our academy can still produce players who are ready for the first team. That's massive. There's nothing the fans love more than seeing one of their own make the grade. And if Curtis can keep this form up, it could save the club millions in the market. But we've got to manage him properly, give him chances, but don't burn him out. Keep him grounded, but let him express himself. If we get that balance right, we could be looking at the next big homegrown star. Now let's talk a bit more about the outgoing side of things, because it's not just about who comes in, it's also about trimming the fat. There are players still hanging around the squad who simply aren't part of the plan going forward. And the longer they stay, the harder it becomes to create a cohesive, hungry group. Matando's the obvious one. The experiment hasn't worked. It's time to move him on. McCausland might benefit from a loan spell, regular minutes somewhere, else come back stronger. Dawell again, probably best for both parties if he finds a new challenge. Russell Martin's hinted that exits are on the way. And let's hope that happens sooner rather than later. We can't carry passengers this season. Every squad place needs to count. Every wage needs to be justified, and if that means being ruthless, so be it. That's what winning clubs do. Sentiment doesn't win trophies. Performance does. There's also the financial reality to consider. If we're going to spend serious money on a Rexaki or even go bigger on someone else, we'll need to balance the books somewhere. That's the game now. That's the model. And honestly, I'm okay with that, as long as we're smart about it. Don't sell key players for pennies. Don't panic buy at the end of the window, and whatever you do, leave yourself short in key positions like we've done in the past. And that brings us to the striker situation again. I know we touched on it earlier, but it bears repeating. We still need someone up top who can put the ball in the net regularly. If Hamza and Dessers are the answer, then we're still asking the wrong question. We need a 9 who's hungry, physical, mobile, someone who can lead the press and also get on the end of chances. It's a lot to ask for, but that's what this team needs if we're serious about trophies. Because here's the thing, Celtic aren't standing still. They're strengthening. They're preparing for another run at the title. And we can't afford to fall behind. Not this time. Not again. We've got to match them not just in quality but in mentality. And that starts with building a squad that's got depth, balance, and fight. And that's why this winger conversation matters so much. It's not just about filling shirts, it's about shaping the identity of this team. Do we want to be a passive, cautious side that plays sideways passes and hopes for set pieces? Or do we want to be aggressive, direct, full of pace and invention, taking the game to the opposition? Because if it's the latter, then we need players who can make that happen. Players like Rexaki, players like Boite, players who can make something out of nothing and lift the crowd with a moment of magic. And let's be honest, Ibrox thrives on wingers, always has. There's nothing like seeing a player fly down the flank, skin his man whipping across. It gets the blood pumping, it gets the fans on their feet, and it turns games. That's the Kind of football we want to see again. That's the kind of football that makes this club special. Now I know there'll be some people saying we should just go all in and bring Zierney back. Proven quality knows the club would hit the ground running, and look, I get it. If we could make that happen, I'd be all for it, but it depends on the numbers, the wages, and whether he even wants to come back. Until then, we've got to keep exploring our options, keep looking for value, keep building smartly. So if it ends up being Rexaki and Boite, I'm okay with that. They both bring something different. They both improve the squad, and they both give us flexibility. Rexaki is more of a dribbler and inside forward type who can cut in and shoot. Boite is more direct, maybe not as flashy, but probably more consistent, together with Curtis and Cortez. That gives us for genuine options for the wide areas, and that's before we even consider Turgeman or any other wild card signings. It's been a long time since we could say that. A long time since we looked at our wingers and felt excited rather than concerned. But we're getting there. Slowly but surely this squad is taking shape, and if we keep moving in this direction, with the right blend of youth experience and flair, I genuinely believe we can challenge on all fronts this season. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the Scottish football scene, whispers are growing louder that Rangers are on the brink of sealing a blockbuster deal with none other than Jaime Vardy, the legendary Leicester City striker, known for his relentless pace and clinical finishing, has reportedly caught the eye of the Ibrox Giants, who seem ready to make a statement of intent by bringing the English Premier League star north of the border. While nothing has been officially confirmed, insiders hint at a contract offer that could rewrite the club's transfer history, sparking excitement and disbelief in equal measure. The buzz around town suggests that Rangers, eager to bolster their attacking options, see Vardy as the perfect talisman to spearhead their quest for silverware both domestically and in Europe. Vardy's potential move to Glasgow would be nothing short of sensational. At 36, the striker might be considered past his prime by some, but his recent form and unwavering hunger for goals defy the typical age narrative. The chance to play in the Scottish Premiership, combined with Rangers' ambitious project, could be just the challenge he's craving at this stage of his career. The prospect of Vardy donning the iconic blue jersey has already ignited feverish speculation among fans and pundits alike. Could this be the signing that finally tips the balance against Celtic in the fierce Old Firm rivalry? Would his experience and sharp instincts translate seamlessly to the Scottish game? These questions are on everyone's lips as the rumor mill churns at full speed. Furthermore, the financial implications of such a deal are massive. Rangers reportedly prepared to break their wage structure to accommodate Vardy's demands, signaling a no-holds-barred approach to reclaim domestic dominance. If true, this bold gamble underscores the club's determination to compete not just at home, but on the continental stage as well. While rivals and neutrals alike watch keenly, the sense of anticipation is palpable. The whispers of Jaime Vardy's imminent arrival have already revitalized the conversation around Rangers' ambitions. For now, it remains a tantalizing possibility, a rumor that refuses to quiet down. Should it come to fruition, the Scottish Premiership and indeed football in Scotland could be set for a seismic shake-up. Keep your ears to the ground. The Blue Roar may soon have a new, familiar voice leading the charge. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.